And when the colonialists decided to leave, because we didn't chase them too very strongly, we said, okay, well, we're going to run the place using your machinery. And all we've done is play with it to maintain people in power. It's not a question of having power to share with the population. That is what empowering the people will mean, sharing the power. But we have a political system, which the Brits still have, that deprives people of power. That's how they survive. So this renewal is really taking a new direction in the sense that we have to renew things on the basis of being in a position to share power. I hear people describing the present coalition. Dr. Ghani says it a lot, that people took a decision to share power, meaning the political parties took a decision to share the unshared power among themselves. They never took a decision to share it with the people. And until we take that decision, then we're not really renewing anything, we're not creating anything, we're not doing anything, except, as people were complaining today on that campaign story I heard on the radio today, we ain't get enough of the cake. Which cake? Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago is entitled to a piece of the cake called Trinidad and Tobago, to which we all contribute. This has nothing to do with which party you're in.
Okay, yeah? Right. Sister Nikki.
Nikki Johnson, hi. I'm glad it's a safe space. The kinds of questions that are coming are, ranging. And so I feel safe to ask my question with the hope that it's not a dumb one, because I don't believe there is such a thing as a dumb question, to some extent. Marginalization of voters, you had touched on that, and the impression that I got in your presentation that because of the degeneration of the political scene, that it was more of in other words, someone was marginalizing the voters. But the question I'm asking, is it not a push and also a pull? You're saying that it's 66.7%. We haven't even floated close to 70% of voter turnout. But if you have thinking individuals who don't see options available to them and their only recourse is to withdraw their right to vote, then you can't quite blame the voter. So I want to explore that idea of margin. It's both a push and a pull. So it's not...
Yeah, the question of withdrawal is what Ross Perot put himself in the election race for. Because he was seeing, here's our system being challenged. That people are saying, we're not accepting this anymore, so we're not participating. In 1971 in Trinidad and Tobago, when there was the no vote campaign, the turnout in elections was around 37%. That was a conscious decision of people not to vote. Now, some people are not voting because they say, what the hell are voting for? Because no matter who I vote for, I'm still catching my tail for the next 5 years. Nothing is going to change. Now, that is where people have become skeptical about the system because it is not producing a difference. The issue here is when you marginalize people is because you are saying, listen, this system is not for you. All you need to do is come line up here every 5 years, stain your finger, and that's it. You have no role in politics whatsoever beyond that. So if some people, not that many in terms of percentage, decide, listen, that is not for me. I will keep out of it. And in Trinidad and Tobago, I would think maybe 20-25% of the population is like that. But other than that, we're not getting anywhere in terms of real shifts, no matter how exciting the episode is. Because basically, people have started to come to the conclusion, I ain't getting nothing out of this, I ain't bound to be in it. And that is the sad thing, because it's not a question of what you will get out of it in that way. It is a question of, can I get involved in this because I will be involved? And that's what we need to create.
So we move on. We coming, I am sure, with a different, perspective and with new perspectives anyway from our sister Deborah Mormigans, who, like Clyde, who when we talked about, has been in this thing for a very long time, has been in, and. Just in case anybody don't know, my fellow Tobagonian, my fellow Bethel person, So I have, I have personal interest in this thing as well. Has been there for a very long time and has taken a lot of knocks. Because that is the way it is when you put yourself out to be a representative and to of the people and to listen and to serve the people. And through thick and thin, it has been different kinds of arrangements. She has been in electoral politics, has been out of it, trying to bring, to use the term that Clyde used and that people were asking what the thing, trying to bring renewal, to the whole process of politics in Trinidad, in Tobago in particular, but certainly has a vision for Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. So I'm glad that you could make it. We'll hear afterwards what happened. But let me welcome Deborah Moore Miggins.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Olabisi. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my apologies for being late. As you know, there are quite a lot of politicians in Tobago right now. And unlike what has been happening over the last few months, there was a delay today. That hadn't happened for a long time. I'd made my reservations 1 o'clock to return 5:35, which takes me dangerously close. But it wasn't to be. We were delayed for about an hour or so. What should the people expect from their MPs? This topic suggests that the framers thought that people should be expecting something that they weren't currently expecting. I don't know if the framers were thinking about the expectations for a job, a school place, a rum, a roti, a jersey, old talk, fete, that's the trappings, and that there should be more that people should expect from the MPs. And I agree with the framers, yes. I think what we should expect from our MPs can be divided basically in perhaps two categories, two broad categories. Representation that would improve the quality of their lives, one, and to my mind, visionary leadership that should inspire their constituents to see new vistas, new dreams, new paths to achieving a happier life. So in pursuance of these two broad objectives, I normally think there are about 10 or so ways that people's expectations can be met. And I would go through these 10 ways briefly, and then I'll come back to what I think is one of the major ways having regard to how our present constitutional system is arranged. Now, in order to achieve representation that would improve the quality of the lives of your constituents, and also to provide visionary leadership that would inspire them to see new vistas for a happier life, I think it is important that MPs, Member of Parliament, firstly, work with them. Work with them. That's critical, because many times representatives think they know what their constituents want, and that is usually a big error. So work with their constituents using all the facilities, all the resources, all the services at their command to achieve the following. Work with them to achieve the following, using everything that there is. And what are the following? One, making them more self-sufficient and productive persons of our country. Enabling them to make wise decisions about their lives, their families, and their future. Enabling them to devise and implement solutions to the daily challenges to their lives. Creating mechanisms for their constituents to participate and have an impact on decision-making and development of their communities and their country, to participate and have an impact on decision making, creating sustainable activities for all ages of constituents, motivating constituents to strive for excellence, respect, and fair play in their daily life, exposing them to opportunities that help them to achieve their goals, and to identify such opportunities when they appear. I think this is one of the most important things. So many opportunities can go a-begging in a community, in a country. And if ever there's a need for our expectations to be placed on our representatives, it is in this respect. Another way is for our representatives to understand the demographics of the constituency that they serve. Its physical attributes, its social problems, its peculiar concerns, and Lennox was referring to that a while ago, and helping them to, of themselves, formulate programs and solutions geared towards its peculiarities. This is critical in Tobago because we feel, and every community, I would think, thinks that there is some peculiarity that perhaps is not appreciated in the halls of power in Port of Spain. Promoting ongoing discourse about challenges of life and continually exploring solutions to those challenges. Honestly articulating at all times the views of the community and always exploring solutions. But they are members of parliament. So one of the key expectations should be seeking to initiate laws and oppose laws that are oppressive and ineffective or work hardship on the particular constituency. This last one needs some elaborating. We are in parliament. Parliament's major role is to make laws. And many times our representatives, because of the system of governance and the constitutional structure that we follow, sit there and laws are being made, the effect of which is to wreak havoc or wreak hardship in various constituencies. Again, Tobago is a case in point. Many of you would remember the law which resulted in the removal of the Easter Monday holiday. Remember that? And we had to scramble afterwards to get our representatives to go back and say no, 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 because it just went over the head. That's Corpus Christi. But it wasn't Corpus Christi, was one which resulted in Easter Monday and Easter being virtually a thing of the past for Tobago. So it was one of those was being removed. And when it was removed, Easter would have been in jeopardy. Is it Easter? To me, it's Easter Monday. It would have been Easter Monday because Easter and Tobago go hand in hand. And whatever the result would have been to just liquidate us in terms of all the activities and the fundraisers and other things that we engage in. I can tell you recently, nobody said a word about it from a Tobago perspective on the same issue of laws that result in oppressiveness.